Hey everyone! So Brent Gobay, he tagged me in a Fitness 2.0 Q&A, and unfortunately, Glenn decided he didn't want to do this. So it's just going to be me. I will try not to be boring, but it's probably going to be pretty dull. I'm not going to tag anybody in this challenge because everybody that I'm subscribed to already does this. And I know all of you have already subscribed to Brent over at All Heart BMG, but his link will be in the comment if you don't. First question, what is your favorite cheat meal? Well, if you look at me, you will tell that every meal is a cheat meal for me. But if I had to say one meal that I just want to go all out, pig out, have a good time, I would have Mongolian barbecue for the main course. And at Mongolian barbecue, I get as much chicken and beef tips. I split the bowl in half, just heap it over, and then I make a little tiny hole at the top. I put as many onions as I can in there, and mushrooms if I can fit any. Typically not that many onions and mushrooms because it's mostly the chicken and beef tips. And then I get the sauce cups, 2 of them with buffalo sauce, 1 with Kung Pao, crushed garlic, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, some seasoned salt, and some Cajun. And then they grill that all up. I would drink water with a side of Dr. Pepper, and since I said I get to choose anything I want, it would be the Dr. Pepper from the Qdoba by where I work, which has the best Dr. Pepper I've ever tasted in my life. And I drink a lot of Dr. Pepper. Theirs is just, makes my day significantly better once I have it. And then for dessert, I would have a slice of cheesecake and a homemade shake. And my homemade shake, I take some vanilla ice cream, some whole milk, and some peanut butter M&Ms, mix it together, drink that, and that is awesome. And why I say every day is a cheat meal is because if I wanted that, I would do it right now. I just need to go buy some ice cream. But strongman days in the summer, if I'm not cutting, typically after training, I would go to BD's with Glenn, and then I'd come home and make that shake. And that is why I'm fat. Question 2. If I had to choose deadlift, bench, or squats for the rest of my life. Now this is a kind of an interesting question. I personally, squats my favorite lift because I feel like I'm good at it, even though, right now I can't back squat because my arm's frozen from the surgery. But I can still safety bar squat, and it doesn't beat me up a whole lot. I can do it heavy. I can do it multiple times a week. There's so many different variations. I just like the squat. However, if for whatever reason I could only do one thing, it would be the deadlift, because I'm going to use all the same muscles that I'm hitting in the squat, but now I'm going to also be working my grip and my forearms. I'm going to be using my lower back as a mover instead of a stabilizer. You're going to get your traps in there. So for one exercise, the deadlift is going to hit way more muscles than you can in the squat. The problem with the deadlift is if you are doing it heavy, it's going to beat you up, and you can't do it multiple times a week unless you're going really light. And yeah, it would be the exercise I pick just because it hits the most muscles, and I feel it's the most beneficial lift a person can do, provided you're not hurting yourself and you're doing it correctly, which is its own challenge. And I can tell you, I've hurt myself in the deadlift a couple times. What do you do on your rest days? Well, every day when I get home, first thing I do is I put on my pajamas because I love wearing pajamas. Probably a little too much because my wife told me I'm not allowed to wear pajamas to the movies anymore. It was a sad day. But then hang out with my wife and kids. We do all sorts of stuff. So we'll have dinner. We will either watch a show. We've been doing Beastmaster on Netflix lately, which is pretty awesome, and they're looking forward to the summer. We're going to try and set up some sort of obstacle course and get better on that and kind of work out as family. We do Nerf gun wars. We play Barbies. We play cars. We play dress up. Lately we've been playing, I took Final Fantasy 1, the original Final Fantasy for the Nintendo, and I figured out all of the formulas in the game, and then I converted it over into a system that's very similar to 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons, and we've been playing that together. We also, like today, Sunday, so typically we go to church in the morning, and then we hang out as family. We will do active things like rowing today. Both my kids killed it on the rower. My goodness, they both went 200 meters on their first go, which was awesome. Then my son pushed for 400, and then my daughter's like, I gotta beat him, went to 500, and then they both got 800 meters on the rower, and not on the easiest setting either, on 3. I was super impressed. That was awesome. And then my son's like, oh, let's do more stuff. And that's always exciting. But just try and have fun as a family. Once my kids go to bed, my wife and I, we typically enjoy watching shows together on Netflix. A lot of Netflix. Probably another reason why I'm fat. What sport would you have if gym life did not exist?
Sit down.
It's not fair you get a big sword.
What? What? Little sword.
No. No. Ha! My fate's over. I hit you with a mask. Now I get the sword.
Oh I win!
Do you train to be fit, lose weight, or because it is your lifestyle? Well, obviously not losing weight. And I can't say to be fit. I get winded walking upstairs, so that's not a thing. Lifestyle, not really. Okay, so I train because I was so beat up and injured from high school and through my early adult life that I had a terrible quality of life. I was constantly in pain. I have herniated L5 S1, which was always messing me up. I had ulcers. I had gained 100 pounds in a year. Just terrible. And I went to a chiropractor, and she recommended that I start lifting, which that was September 2010. And when I started lifting, I tried deadlifting because that's one of the things she told me to work on. I couldn't do 135 pounds. That was an impossible task for me. And as I continued to get a little bit better, I ended up having to go to therapy for my knee because apparently my knee was messed up too. She told me, I said, do I work on reps or do I work on increasing the weight? And she said, increase the weight. So I kept doing that, and then I decided, I want to do something with this. I need something to push myself forward, to make sure that I'm doing it correctly, to give me a little bit of fun. Because working out is hard. And that's where I found Strongman through YouTube. So I train to fix all the stuff that's wrong with me. And as I keep going, I break more stuff, so fix that. And then to compete in Strongman. So I guess that's kind of fit, but not the way I do it. Number 6, do you still drink alcohol when training frequently? Well, I don't drink alcohol at all. I'm not a fan, and I mean, no any objections to it. I just don't want to drink it. Now, if you said, do you still drink pop? Yes, I do. How has the fitness lifestyle affected you? Okay, so I don't run or anything else. And as far as Strongman, well, I've pushed myself to compete a couple of times, and I'm doing at least 2 competitions this year. I have invested a lot of money into equipment. I have spent a lot of time. It's improved my quality of life. Like I said, I can stand up now because my back doesn't hurt all the time. I can lift things, which is really cool. I'm still fat, which sucks. And I have goals. Like there's constantly a reason to be doing stuff. I'm way more conscious of my health. I get blood tests now. I am trying to get a little bit more cardio in. I almost said that with a straight face. It almost happened. Yeah. So, just better quality of life. And, now I just really enjoy it. And I'm really hoping someday to get more than just Glenn to come work out with me. And I'm just really more conscious about it. What in life makes you happy? Well, I like to say that I enjoy life. I mean, so my work is a little bit hard on me. I'm an auditor, so when I go into work every day, I'm the bad guy. Like I'm the guy that nobody wants to see come into their office, nobody wants to talk to or hang out with. So when I first started that, like I said, I gained 100 pounds in a year, developed ulcers, just really bad for me. Now I can kind of deal with it because of lifting, and I've learned to handle the stress. I've kind of accepted I'm the bad guy. But I really like to enjoy life. So I really love movies. I really love hanging out with my family. And I really love seeing people try to better themselves. It doesn't matter if it is physically, it doesn't matter if it's education, mentally. I want to see people trying to improve and not giving up. So, like right now, as an example of this, both of my kids are they're being challenged in math. So my daughter, really good at addition, doesn't like subtraction, and now she's like multiplication. She got it pretty easy. Doesn't like division. So I see her getting frustrated, but she doesn't give up. She keeps going. She's figuring it out. Really cool. I love seeing her grow up. She's way into books, which I used to love reading. I haven't had as much time to do it now, but it's really cool to see that growing as a person. So my son also, he's getting to the point where he's like me. He's not a great speller, but he's figuring it out. He's learning. He's getting better at reading. He just got a Spider-Man book, and he didn't set that thing down. That was so cool to see. And the same thing with math. Like he's like, yeah, I don't like it, and I'm like, look, you got the maximum score you could get. You did more than the teacher said. He's like, yeah, I know, I still don't like it. My daughter does the same thing, but it's so cool to see, even though they don't like something, they keep doing it, and they try and do the best that they can. And that's what I like to see. I like to see people encouraging others. Just try and build people up. The world is a terrible place. There's so much negativity out there. I know me, I'm naturally a pessimist. I'm naturally picking things apart, which is probably why I'm an auditor. But I'm trying so hard, don't discourage people. Encourage them, build them up, try and be a little bit of a positive moment for somebody's day. And the YouTube community is pretty awesome for that. I made this channel, and I never expected anybody to ever watch any of my videos except for me and my family that I forced to watch them. So to have people come to my channel and give me encouragement is awesome. I wouldn't be doing this still in terms of making YouTube videos if it wasn't for the people encouraging me. And that's just such a positive part of my day to have somebody go, hey, keep going, hang in there, good to see you back from your injury and stuff like that. It's just cool. Question number 9. Do you prefer energy drinks, coffee, or pre-workouts before training? I don't really like any of those before training. I'm going to go into a little bit of an explanation now. With caffeine, that is a stimulant. All of these things that are listed are a stimulant. And I see people all the time. They got their music blasting in their headphones. They're psyching themselves up. They're sniffing ammonia or something else. And they're hopped up on some sort of caffeine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is you've already put yourself up here, right? So you're training at that maximum stimulus. What's going to happen if you take it away? Well, now you're going to perform down here, right? And if you want to keep pushing that up, you've got to add more caffeine, more music. It's got to be louder. You've got to sniff more ammonia. So, because you become used to it. I like going in, no music, just lifting the weights, focusing on form, pushing myself, not having anything to stimulate me. Because when I go to a competition, now I can add those things. I can take a pre-workout, I'm going up here. I can listen to some music, going up here. I haven't ever sniffed ammonia, but I'm assuming that would make me go up here. So I don't have to worry about becoming used to the stimulants. I can just take them when I need them to go perform. That said, full disclosure, I will occasionally take a pre-workout. And I do that if I just would not otherwise make it through a workout. Like there's no way I'm going out in the gym. So this week is a perfect example. Glenn was sick, he was gone. Wednesday, my daughter has dance, so I watch my son. It's a pretty late night. I had to go out there at 8:35. It was 12 degrees out. I didn't want to go work out. I was tired. I had worked all day. Like, I'm not going to do this. So I took a pre-workout right before bed, which probably is not the greatest idea, but I did it because I needed something to just make me go. And because I don't take it very often, just a little bit of pre-workout makes me have tons of energy. My heart's just, you know. So that's kind of how I treat it. It is an aid. It's kind of like you don't wear, well, most people don't wear their belt or their wrist wraps on every single set, right? You warm up, you get to a certain point, and then you add the aids. I treat the stimulants the same way. I want to add them when I need them, not all the time. Last question. This is a long video. 14 minutes. Which country would you like to live in if you could choose? So I have actually lived in another country. I grew up in Brazil. My parents were missionaries there, and it was a really awesome experience. I really wish that my kids could have had that kind of experience. It was so cool. And I will say, like, if you this question, if you could choose, well, you can choose. Go get a passport, go to whatever country you want to get, you know, motivate yourself, get a job, learn the language if you have to. I wouldn't pick another country right now because I believe family is really important. So I'm going to live by my family. I want my kids to know their grandparents, my wife's dad, my parents. I want them to have a close relationship with them. I want them to know their cousins and stuff, because I really missed out on a lot of that, building those really close bonds, and I still feel like they're not as strong as they could have been if I would have lived here. So I really want them to have that. I want them to be able to go hang out with their grandparents on the weekends and stuff. That said, if I made it hard and said I can't pick the U.S. for whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe Canada, because it's close and I could drive across the bridge. Yeah, I don't know. Probably Canada. Maybe New Zealand. New Zealand seems like a pretty cool place. I have a aunt and a cousin that were in New Zealand for most of my life. So that would probably be the only two countries that I would consider living in other than here. And that's it. So I'm not going to tell anybody, as I said. Everybody that I know and watch already has done this or done something very similar to this. But I want you guys to remember, be encouraging. You know, don't go on somebody's YouTube or somebody's Facebook or something else and just tear them apart. You know, if you can't say something to make them feel better, don't say anything. And that's it. Go lift something heavy.